Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Australian Report, and starting here with the Australian banking sector, the XXJ. There is also the XFJ, which comprises of other financial institutions, but this one here is just the banking sector. We've been talking about this for a little while now, and obviously the XJO, the ASX200, is weighted by the banks. So it's really important what occurs here. That will reflect back into the ASX 200. So in this instance here, we've got a count from the low here in September of wave 1 here, an A and a B and a C for wave 2, and then up for the third wave here. And then looking at this correction here, I thought it might just be simple. So originally we had wave 4 here, and now we can count it as an A and a B and a C wave here. And now looking for 5 waves up here to finish this run up here. Now all that's fine, and it's a solid wave count. At the same time, however, if we get another low in here, if we get a low through here on this low here, then we know that we've got a bearish pattern that's going to come in, and we'll have to look at this as 3 waves up here. But this shouldn't finish like this here, so yeah, let's just wait and see. We looked at this bar here, these last 2 bars here, or this bar here, and called the low in. So we have seen the market move up here at this stage. So the markets do look rather bearish out there, but I don't want to turn bearish unless this low here is taken out. So this particular pattern here needs to reflect the XJO as well. So that's what we're working on at the moment. But if this low here on the banking sector is breached here, then we need to turn bearish at that point. Okay, so it's keeping it simple like this will be very helpful. So looking at the XJO here, I've got this is wave 4 here as well in this instance here, and it would be the same for this one here as well. So looking at this low here, if this is breached in any way, then we'll be going further down for that down further from that, and that means we'd have to adjust this here. I mean, our original count to the upside here was having wave 1 here and 2 here and 3 here and 4 here and 5 here, and finishing this off here, and that could jolly well be the same case, the same story as well. But the banking sector chart here is, I need to get confirmation on this before I can move on anything else at this stage. So it's these lows that we're concentrating on here at the moment. And as I mentioned before on the Friday on the hourly chart here, we're looking at this as a possible wave 4 down through here, and it does count quite well like that. I can also count this as an unfinished bearish count as well. I mean, on the XJO, on the actual cash market on an intraday basis, it does appear that we have 5 waves down here, but because this trades extra hours, it's created not this here as wave 1 like it would be on the cash market as 5 waves down here. In this case, I've got 3 waves down here, so I can count this as an A and a B, which I don't know, the B wave looks a little bit small in compared to the C wave here. So I can count this as a bearish move here if I go to the tick chart here and bring it in from the top here. If I can from the top here, I can count this down as wave 1 and 2 here, then 1 and 2 here, and 1 and 2 here, then the third wave, the fourth wave, the fifth wave for the third, the fourth, and the fifth here for the third here, and then looking at this as an A and a B and a C wave up here. And then from that case, we'd still be looking for 5 waves down here, breaching this low here. And if we do breach this low here, then we would be looking at an A and a B and a C coming back up through here. So I'm still a little bit sort of lost on all of this. It will get to a point where it will reveal itself. We're not really, US markets were down slightly. There's no real trend in this instance here at this stage here. So yeah, we just need to gather more evidence at this stage. This move here to the upside doesn't need to be corrective. It could be wave 1 and 2 and then wave 1 and 2 here, and looking at this here as 5 waves down here. And then this one here would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So it can come down a tad more. There's 2 interesting points here. There's the, from this low to this high here, there is the 61.8, 50 and 60% in this space here. And then there's also, if I just remove that here, just based on this leg here, which is just a subtle difference to this point here, brings us in, also at the 50-60% retracement level here. So this is kind of, it is an important space here for this market here. So it could come down a little bit further here to finish this off here. I mean, it doesn't, even though I can count 5 waves here, there's a problem with this, is because this wave 4 overlaps wave 1 here. So it also can be a series of 1 and 2, then 1 and 2. So we'll have 3 and 4 and 5, and bringing it down to here, then we've got more of a bearish count in that regard, and would see it come down further. So look, what I could say at this point here is that if the market came up to and found support on the 5972 here, then you can go long from that point, because the reason for that, then it would have this market as a corrective point here, and it taking out this particular top here from this wave 2, then it would breach, it would breach a 5-wave structure down here, and we could go along from that point. Yeah, so on the short side here today, obviously this number here, the 5950 here, if that became the retested resistance, then if there's weakness on the open, then you can look for that. But the market won't settle until the whole market's open alphabetically, so that can take 10 minutes to run, and then obviously there's the sort of the squeeze from the futures market as well, which can take sort of 15 minutes. So anywhere between sort of 15 and 20 minutes for the market to settle and get its direction. So be mindful of that. So yeah, I mean, the other interesting sort of thing here, I guess, to a point is this is CBA on 100 ticks, and this is a top here. And this move coming down here so far is also counts better as an ABC. This one here is also corrective as well, which puts it into a bigger sort of corrective pattern, but it doesn't put us into a bearish pattern at this stage. So yeah, I mean, if we get 5 here, then we can look to get 5 over here. But this has moved up quite high here, so yeah, it's not really creating a bearish pattern here for CBA either at this stage. So look, I'll just have to leave it with that, and just sort of recapping on the banking sector. Until this low gets taken out here, then we have to look to the upside here. It's just that today and tomorrow could be a little bit choppy within this space, especially today anyway. We'll need to see what the US market does as well. So yeah, not a lot we can actually do today, but yeah, let's just observe here for a little while. Okay, cheers.